I wish I had a private jet and I could say, Kate, it's outside your house. It somehow landed on the street.
Wow.
Get in.
Oh.
Come to Chicago.
Yeah.
Because the Chicago Symphony
is
playing Jurassic Park while they project the movie. And I spontaneously bought tickets as a way to, like, force you to come. But you have things to do. And also it's a lot to ask you to do. And so I'm going with a friend. But I can't wait.
Oh my God. Wait, do you remember on one of our other podcast episodes we talked about how we both went to one of those?
Okay.
And you were like, which one did you go to? And I was like, Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And you were like, I saw It's a Wonderful Life. That, like, perfectly describes our movie taste.
But now I'm going to Jurassic Park, Kate. Look at your influence on me.
God, it's going to be so good.
It is going to be so good. I can't wait.
Now I want to look and see, like, who the fuck's doing that near me? Is anybody? Hello?
Well, I don't know. I think we should pay attention to it, because if we can sync up when there's a visit, either me or you, we got to do it together. But in the meantime, I'm going to do that in 2 weeks, and I'll give you the rundown, because I think I'm going to cry, just because it's going to be so fun.
And you'll think of our brother's wedding.
I told my friend that. She goes
down the aisle to that song.
I will never forget your face turning around and screaming at the top of your lungs, and I don't know what was happening. So I was like,
yeah, thank God we were, like, far away from wherever we were when that happened, because they would have all heard me being obnoxious.
Well, and I, like, was like, is something wrong with the wedding? And you were like, I love this song. I was like, oh, Katie, this is not
dinosaurs.
You're like, Jimmy picked the most epic song ever. Oh, and here we are talking about Jimmy again. We love you, Jimmy.
Love you.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hey there.
Welcome back, listeners.
How's it been? Are you ready? Did you
ready?
love this movie as much as us?
Oh my God. It was, like, surprisingly really entertaining.
Fantastic. 1982 delivers.
And it just think of, like, Stranger Things the whole time. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did?
I like Stranger Things a lot.
But, like, there were so many parts from this movie that, like, they took that I didn't even realize they took. And now I realize they took it. What? Yeah. I think that was a sentence.
I think so. But first we should introduce ourselves, Kate.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And E.T. Phone Home.
E.T. phone home. He wants to go home.
No way. This fucker's lost and he wants to go home. Wow.
He just came for a plant and he wants to go home.
Okay.
What's the movie,
The fucking
Kate?
gardening subplot? Didn't remember it. Why do the aliens like to garden? I don't know.
Well, there's theories, Kate. What's the movie?
I can't wait to hear those theories. Our movie is E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial.
Epic movie.
Yes. Oh my God.
Wow. So I sent you that little, like, snippet that prior to this movie, the highest grossing film at the time was Star Wars.
Yeah.
This beat Star Wars. That's how you have to, like, realize how insanely popular this was. And stayed for 11 years until...
Oh my God.
1993's Jurassic Park.
Oh, it's so fucking
cool.
cool.
If you're Steven Spielberg, you're just like, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best for 11 years. I'm the best. I thought 1982, it's gonna be dated. There's gonna be things I hate. The graphics are gonna be cheesy. No siree. No siree,
No,
Kate.
I didn't feel that way either. I was
Incredible.
Wow, this is like... And again, this movie, did I ever watch it in my adult life before this? I feel like no. Like, like when I was a kid at some point, probably, I like watched it and watched snippets and didn't pay much attention. But like, now I paid attention.
Oh, and I think
it was a movie.
I think people should say Friday night, take out your popcorn and sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good night.
Yeah. Take out your popcorn and your Reese's Pieces and Coca-Cola. Did they drink that?
Light.
And, oh my God. Yeah, that whole fucking part. I'm like, didn't remember, take a sip, because Katie don't remember.
And this is a movie, whether you are 7 years old or 70 years old, you're all gonna like it.
Yeah.
Because, Kate, do you know what this movie is? It's a love story.
What? Who's in love? I'm sorry. You lost me. I gotta phone home. I'm lost.
The boy and E.T. It's a love story.
But it's like
they can be best friends love.
Okay. It's friendship love.
To be like, yeah.
It's not like we're not gonna date.
All right, sum it up for those crazy people that haven't seen this yet.
Oh my God. Okay.
Wow.
So we start off right away with the title of our movie, E.T. We're seeing some E.T.s, multiple E.T.s, and at first I wrote that all the little E.T.s were snacking, and then I said, oh wait, I'm sorry, they're gardening. Just kidding. I don't know what's happening. But they're just chilling in the woods, and I think they're taking plants. I'm not sure. But as per usual, humans ruin everything. And all these people come and fuck up everything and scare little ETs. But one of the little ETs was like off by himself looking at lights, like he's a friggin' moth. I don't know. And the other ETs like fly away because like humans suck and like gross. Get the fuck away from them. And then he gets abandoned. And
Yikes.
This is E.T. And then you meet the, I guess, main human characters. So it's this whole family where there's an older brother named Michael, who I think is like 13, 14, something.
Sure.
Okay. Then you have the middle child. Bridget and I can relate. Mm-hmm. His name is Elliot. And he, I think, was about like 7, 8.
Yeah.
And then you have the little sister, who I don't fucking know her name, but it's Drew Barrymore. So
Gertie.
Cool. What's her name?
Gertie.
Like an old lady?
Like Gertrude and short for Gertrude.
Oh,
Gertie.
Bridget's middle name is Gertrude. Wow, Gertie. Sounds like girdle. Okay. So that's the kids, and then it's a mom, and throughout the movie you kind of learn that this family, there was a dad, but then the dad and mom like separated, but like I don't think we ever see dad. And I'm gonna put a little pin in that because I'm gonna circle back to that later on in my synopsis. I think you're gonna laugh really hard at me because I was so confused. Okay. Anyway, so they're chilling, and then what's that? What's that noise? This is where it's a horror movie, kinda. There's scary noises outside, and it's little E.T. And he's like, I don't fucking know where I am, and there's a cornfield, and what do I do? So the one little kid, Elliot, he's really like the main character. He is like on this whole mission where he's like, I know I saw something, and I'm gonna see him again, and I'm gonna find him, whatever. And then he fucking does. All with the help of Reese's Pieces and like sleeping in your jammies at night. I mean, who knew how easy it was to find an alien? If only Fox Mulder knew. The X-Files have been so different.
Wow, that took us 2 minutes to reference that. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Take a sip. Okay, so then Elliot pretty much adopts E.T. He's like, now you're my friend pet, and you live in my house, and here we are. And so it's like this secret that he's keeping, but eventually he has his siblings like learn about E.T. So then they're like, oh my god, what? And then it becomes a secret from the mom. Okay, fine. So throughout all of this, E.T. is like, yo, I'm like fucking lost. Hello? Phone home. And then they're like, oh my god, this alien that's all by itself like actually wants to be with other aliens. So weird. Like, let's go help it. So then it turns into this whole, we're gonna help E.T. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, he makes a phone, I guess, and then like tries to find his alien friends. Meanwhile, while that's happening, the motherfucking government, I'm sorry, but not sorry. Back to the X-Files. As we all know, never trust the government ever because they are tapping your phone lines. So just remember that. So anyway, so they're trying to find E.T. because they knew there were like some alien shit. So they're trying to figure out where it is. They think it might be with the boy, but they're not sure. Whatever. And then, I mean, I guess like kind of plot stuff. It's like kind of some random scenes in here that are just like, haha, that's funny. Like, E.T. gets drunk, but then, like, Elliot also gets drunk. Oh, because that's another thing. It's like they have a, like, bodily emotion connection.
Telekinetic.
Something.
Okay.
I don't know. They are the same, but they're not. Okay, so then somehow through all of this, E.T. fucking almost dies. He gets, like, lost in the woods. I'm not sure. And when we find him, he's a horrific nightmare, white E.T., and I hate looking at it. And it reminded me of when we invited Barney to my birthday party, and Barney's a purple dinosaur, and the Barney that showed up was white. And I will never forget it. Yep, that's what that was like. So it's really terrible.
Those are the years when you were the youngest, Kate. So you got to have those moments.
In my birthday parties.
If you were in middle child years, you would have been like, of course it's a white Barney.
Yeah. So pretty much when E.T. is like almost dying, then the government's like, hey, we're here too now. And then you're like, oh shit. So then it becomes this whole, like, Elliot the kid is also kind of maybe dying. E.T.'s maybe dying. Elliot's like, leave E.T. alone. And then E.T.'s like, wah. And the government's like, alien. And then somehow Elliot and E.T. like become disconnected. And then E.T. like fucking dies.
Yeah.
Like he's dead.
Yeah.
It's the worst. This is where I started to cry. So this was like 20 minutes before the end of the movie. That's where the waterworks were starting for me. And then somehow through the power of I love yous and Pokemon tears, he comes back alive. And it's really kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie. And then the kids are like, we'll go motherfucking like free willy this shit and get this little E.T. back to his family because I guess now his family's coming back. Hooray for us. And then it becomes a whole like chase scene and like, you know, we're racing to the woods and like blah blah blah. And then in the end, E.T. has his other E.T. friends and he says goodbyes and then everybody cries and then it fucking ends and then I was still crying. Yep, the end.
Wow.
That's what I had.
Wow. Oh my god, it had everything. It had drama. It had fun. It had happiness. It had, like, government. Death. Oh my god, just endless. Wow, Kate. I mean, we gotta start from the beginning, but there's
I do want to make a point right now. I mean, I'm sure it'll come up, but, like, let me make it now, because I said I was gonna say this in my synopsis, and I didn't. Okay, so the whole subplot with, we had a dad, and then early in the movie, there's, like, a dinner scene where Elliot says that, like, well, Dad's in Mexico with Sally. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then everyone's like, wah, we're all sad. And they're like, you're such a jerk, Elliot. God. And then you're like, okay. And then, like, throughout the movie, you're getting this, like, I guess, setup of there's some guy who's, like, tracking the aliens, but you don't see him right away. And then when you see him, like, he kind of, that's not Elliot's dad, is it?
I thought the exact same thing.
Okay, I thought it was crazy. I was like, wait, is this his dad? Because it's like Mexico makes me think of like New Mexico, which makes me think of astronauts, and Sally, like Sally Field. I mean, not Sally Field. Who? Sally Ride? I don't know. Some astronaut. I thought he was like astronaut dad, and then I thought it was weird that nobody called him dad, and I was like, I guess, is this not your dad? I don't know who this, I don't know who this man is or why we care.
They zoomed in on his keys, and you're like, okay, he's the man with the keys. Is he evil man with the keys? But then he ended up being like a nice man with the keys.
That's why I was like, why are you fucking nice and everybody else is weird? And also, why do I care? And also, are you a dad? Because I need to know these answers.
I'm gonna say no, but we probably could fact check that.
Okay.
And yeah, for all I knew, the whole movie, the dad was in Mexico. And even Drew Barrymore was like, he's in Mexico.
She's like, it's fucking Mexico. I'm 4.
She's like, even I know that.
Jeez.
With the program.
Yeah.
Wow, Kate. There's okay. First of all, we need to talk about this film was inspired by Steven Spielberg's parents' divorce.
Oh.
Where he thought about a boy having an imaginary friend.
Oh.
How adorable is that?
That is kind of adorable.
And it was written by this woman, Melissa Matheson.
Yeah.
Then, the whole plant thing. So, E.T. and his, like, family are apparently alien botanists.
That's a gardener, I think, to some degree, so... I was right about one thing.
They study, like, plants. So part of the, like, plant connection is they were, like, I think coming to, like, study Earth's plant.
Okay, Bridge, I don't want to derail these fun facts, but, like, this might be time for me to talk about Universal Studios Florida.
Okay, get it out of your
system.
system.
The ET ride, because I rode it more than any other ride.
Did you have a red sweatshirt? Did they give that to you when you get on?
No. And the reason I rode this the most out of any other ride is because nobody fucking went on this ride except me and Mary, because I made her.
Wow.
But it's like a fun ride. However, because it's like you're on like a little bike thing, and then if you sit in the front part of it, then ET's right in front of you, and sometimes it moves around, and that's cool.
Wow.
And you go through like the woods, and there's like, you see the cars with the like adults and the flashlights and stuff, and then at one point you fucking fly into space, and then you're like, that's cool, I guess I'm in space, alright. But Bridge, that's not fucking it. That's not the fucking end, Bridge. You thought that was it? That's not the fucking end, because then we go to
oh, take it easy. Take a breath. Take a breath. You okay?
We go to E.T.'s home planet. Bridge, this is where the drugs kicked in, because I didn't ask for it, and I didn't like it, and it's filled with plants, and there were some ETs, but then there were these other, like, scary aliens that, like, weren't supposed to be scary, but I fucking hated it, and then that's it, and... Wow. Oh, and by the way, before you start the ride, you go into a little room where you have to watch a 2-minute movie of Steven Spielberg saying, "Hey everyone, I'm Steven Spielberg. You gotta help E.T. get home. So you're all gonna get your own personalized phone calling card." I'm not even fucking kidding. You get your name written on a little phone call card, because 80s, y'all. And so I had a lot of those.
Take a picture. We don't believe it. Take a picture. We don't believe it.
I definitely lost them, but I
damn it,
so many, and it was a trip. So I highly recommend the ET ride, but like, be ready for scary shit at the end.
Oh my god, it sounds thrilling.
It was a lot.
Okay, Kate, let's get into it.
Okay, well, we start off with, E.T.'s snacking. And by snacking, I mean gardening. Those aren't the same, but it's fine.
Oh, okay, I was gonna skip that part and get right to the pizza party, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can skip that. That's fine. We can go pizza.
The only thing I think it's relevant in the beginning is when the spaceship lands and then he gets basically distracted by lights, which I think is hilarious. The evil government people are like on their tail, and that's why his family, friends, whatever, leave him. And then they know he's missing. They're like, this alien is missing. So that's why they're kind of always around, always listen. They're tapping the phones. They're trying to figure out where the frick is this alien. And to be honest, they were pretty slow. It took them a couple of weeks. When, I don't know, a 7-year-old just rolled up with it, found him.
All they needed was Reese's Pieces. Damn, guys.
So
get it together.
That's that. And we have to talk about the vegetation of the area, because we have like this new development of all these homes on these hills, and then you have a forest, but then you have a cornfield, but then you have suburbs. So like, I don't know what the hell was happening, but I just followed it. Okay,
it was like desert, and then cornfield, and then giant redwood trees.
Yes.
And I was like,
So basically E.T. hobbles out of the forest, hobbles through the cornfield, and ends up in Elliot's backyard.
Yep.
And I mean, he's a slow walker, but he got there.
He fucking is.
He fucking got there.
There's a lot of hills, too. I don't know how he didn't do a little roll.
We saw that bike
roll.
chase from their house. That was like, that could have took a year. But here we are, and the coolest thing about Elliot is, first of all, you need to stop what you're doing, Kate, and you need to Google his audition, because you can there's like a YouTube video of his audition.
Oh.
He is incredible.
Wait.
And on the spot, you hear Steven Spielberg start like kind of giggling and be like, "Kid, you're hired." He literally says it at the end. It is incredible. You need to go watch it.
I'm going to say this on the air, and for all those loyal listeners who've listened to many of our episodes, you probably got the impression that I'm a very heavy child actor critic, but guess the fuck what? All of these kid actors, A+. A+.
Oh my god.
Insanely good. And I especially felt that way about him. Like, he was so good. There was never a time where I was like, oh, that was a little weird. Like, every single time I was like, yo, fucking legit.
Steven Spielberg said that this was the first kid actor that he didn't even call a kid actor. He's like, this is an adult actor.
Yeah.
Like, he was 9 at the time, and he had like a method. And Drew Barrymore was 6 at the time. So like, I read stuff that like, when E.T. died, like, she actually thought he died, you know?
Oh, no.
So, like, her acting was, like, reality, not reality, whatever.
Oh, God.
But Henry Thomas, who played Elliot, just incredible. And then he kind of like took a break, and he still does acting now. Like if you look him up.
Well, I was going to say, I know you've probably never watched this, but those who like horror on Netflix, the Haunting of Hill House series it's fucking amazing. It is horror, but it's also like drama, and it's really good. But he is in it, and he was like he was the dad, like a younger version of the dad of this family, because he followed over the years. And I remember when I watched it, I was like, that guy looks so familiar. Like, why do I know him? Because he still has those like bright blue eyes and like the ears and like the hair. And then I was like, oh my fucking God, it's E.T.
Elliot!
Elliot!
Yes, I feel like I always try to pick a hero of the movie. It's Elliot.
Yeah.
Okay, so part of what I thought about, like, what makes him so good? Because I was thinking, like, Never-Ending Story. I was thinking, like, all this 80s, all had that young boy hero.
Mushroom haircut
from middle school with the bowl.
Too tight pants, right?
Oh, my God. But what he did so well was, like, he had conviction in, like, I saw an alien, and then every other, like, movie would have been like, no one else sees the alien, and everyone thinks he's crazy. But he was like, no, look at this alien. And then he's like, and by the way, I own him now. And you're like, whoa. And then he is like a dork, but also like gets the girl, but also like doesn't think of himself as a dork. And he didn't take shit from anybody and had such like strong moral compass more than the government. So you're like, this kid is an actual hero. Oh, he's
literally like, fuck the police. And you're like, yes, little Fox Mulder, live your life.
Oh, God.
But this whole plot kicks off because, you know, as is the case often, whether you're a younger sibling or sometimes middle, you know, you just want to hang out with your old sibling, and they don't let you, and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and you're getting, you know, kicked to the curb to go pick up the pizza by yourself because you're 7, and I don't know how that makes any sense. Do we sell pizzas to 7-year-olds? Sure. I don't know.
Did he go to a pizza place? Like, I don't even know what happened.
Well, I don't know either, because then the guys are like, make sure there's no fish on it, and I was like, wait, I'm confused. Like, what is the 7-year-old doing? Also, the mom was home, so like, hello, anyone wanna? Okay.
She was 3 feet away with, by the way, that like 80s pixie haircut that every mom had at that time, even our mom. And
she still has
2 seconds later, she literally was like, hey, I didn't say you guys could order pizza. I'm like, where were you? You were literally 3 feet away.
7-year-old ordered it. Where were you? What happened? Yeah, the mom was a little weird. But he goes with the pizza, and then he's like, oh my God, now I hear weird things late at night. And listeners, I don't know how many fucking times I could say this. I don't give a shit if there's an alien or whatever the fuck is going on. You're not looking in the cornfields or in the shed next to the cornfield late at night by yourself with the spoopy noises.
No
Thank
way.
you. Go inside, have a pizza.
I'm running away. I'm running
Self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But this is where we learn that he's brave. We learn that he's brave because he's like, listen, they all made fun of me. And I dropped the pizza and everyone's like, you stink, you're the worst, drop the pizza, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'm gonna find this motherfucker. And literally, the bravery just sits out there. I am afraid in my own house if like something in the closet looks weird in the dark.
Yeah.
Like, what?
He goes into the cornfields. This was also a time where I realized that there are a lot of tight pants being worn because I thought he was pantsless, skin-colored tight pants. Not a good combo for the children. Okay.
Yeah, it was a whole, like, onesie, white flannel. I don't know.
It was a Bob wardrobe decision, I think.
Oof. Yeah.
But he kind of like, I guess, sees that like, oh, I saw something in the cornfield, but it gets away. And then he figures that he should go to the woods. And this is where he has Reese's Pieces. And I think he makes a literal Reese's Pieces trail back to his home. And I don't know how other people didn't follow this trail because I'm just saying, like, I mean, free food is free food.
Well, again, think of the government trying so fucking hard and all they had to do was like drop some Reese's Pieces.
That's all they had to do. Or follow the Reese's Pieces, and then you'll find them.
My God.
And there were a lot of times where, you know, you're seeing, like, the little, like, E.T. fingers, and you're like, ooh, this could be, like, kind of creepy. But then, like, it's not, and it's fucking fine.
I'm gonna get on my high horse that I do with all of these nostalgic movies. Having no CGI made it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a suit, and they had like little kids wear it, and every now and then it would have like animatronic stuff, but for the most part, that was like a 3D made suit.
Oh my god!
And the eyes of E.T. were like inspired by. He had like Albert Einstein, and like
huh?
Oh god, of course I'm blanking on the names, but it was all about making his eyes like personable and inquisitive and like, I don't know, like trustworthy, because the rest of him looked like this big little Oompa Loompa,
like
gross.
A raisin. Yeah, a dried raisin with fingers.
Drew Barrymore says a great statement where she goes, I hate his feet. I'm like, me too.
Same.
It's nasty.
They're big and I don't like it. I don't like looking at it.
Is he naked? And I'm like, again, nasty. But
well, and then there's a part where she's like, is it a boy or girl? And he's like, it's obviously a boy. And I was like, ew, why is that obvious?
It's not obvious. It's not obvious.
We don't know.
Okay, I just wanted to reference that because I think that it holds up. It's so awesome.
Yeah. So there's a scene in here. This is where we learn that this family is a broken family and it's very sad and everyone's sad. And Elliot says a really unique insult that I actually like, like I did one of those out loud.
My God.
What does he call his brother, Bridge?
Penis breath.
Gross! What a foul
Why
fucking
does he know
insult.
what that is?
Ew.
Why does he think of those words together?
Also, don't say it in front of Gertie. she doesn't
his
even
mother.
know.
And his mother kind of laughed, and she goes, Elliot. But she like kind of laughed about it, and I was like, there's a lot happening here. Is this why the dad's in Mexico? What's happening?
Also, at one point, the mom, or like, it was like the mom or someone asked Gertie, hey, what are you being for Halloween? I was like, why does a 4-year-old have to go buy her own Halloween costume? Like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm so confused.
I don't even know, Kate. I don't even know. But
weird shit.
But going back to Steven Spielberg writing this from his divorce, I bet he pulled in the parent that's rejected is not really there. Like the one scene where like literally Drew Barrymore's like, Mom, look, E.T.'s right here. And she's like, oh, let me get this done. Let me do this. She's like, no, Mom, literally, Mom, there's an alien in the kitchen. And then she's like, all right, well,
she's like, I'm busy. Oh, there's all these empty beer cans. Weird. Anyway, moving on. I'm like, the fuck? Damn.
But the coolest thing is once he like brings him into the house and he's like, I have a pet alien. He never once, I think, was afraid after like the Reeses Pieces piece. Like once E.T. was like, hey man, here's some Reeses Pieces. You give me some, I give you some. I'm not here to hurt you. Then they were like, let's be buddies and let's like communicate. How fun.
Yeah. And then is this where they then got their spiritual, emotional something connection? Because I didn't pick up on it right away, because there was a part where then like E.T. like looked like he was getting sleepy, but then I thought it was Elliot pretending to be sleepy because E.T. was copying him, but then Elliot actually fell asleep, but then E.T. didn't fall asleep, and who the fuck was actually sleepy? And I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull Wolverine rules, and I think when he cut his finger on the blade and then E.T. healed it, that was my moment of like, maybe because he healed it, he like shared his like inner thoughts. But I don't know if that's true.
Is that in the universe? Can we look that up on Reddit?
We could probably look it up, but here we are talking and we don't have time. Let's go.
No, we're busy.
But that was, to me, the scene where he, and I know we're kind of skipping, but when he gets drunk, you really make the connection of like, oh yeah, he can feel his feelings or whatever is happening, and you're like, that's kind of cool. Because E.T. wasn't like, hee, let me ruin Elliot's day.
That's the horror movie version,
Yes, exactly. E.T.'s just like, hey man, this tastes good. Ooh, that tastes good. Oop, I'm bumping into a closet. And you're like, man, what a fun guy.
Getting drunk.
What a fun guy. But Elliot starts to slowly say, hey, Michael, I want you to see this alien. And then obviously Drew Barrymore just like kind of by accident.
Yeah, and her reaction is the only appropriate reaction, which is to scream bloody murder, because I don't know how no one else did that. Like, Michael's reaction was just like, huh, look at that. I was like, Michael!
Yeah, it wasn't as believable.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't. Hers was. And it's because she was like 6, maybe. She was like, whoa, look at that thing.
Well, and then they're all like, where did you come from? Like, are you an orangutan? And like, to me, again, like, my first thought is alien. Like, sometimes I see cats and I'm like, are you an alien? Like, I don't know. I don't trust it.
Like a hairless cat?
Yeah.
It could be aliens.
It fucking could. What do we know? know.
Wow. But E.T.'s like, I'll tell you where I'm from. And they're like picking out a map, taking out a globe. They're like, we're from California. We're from here. We're from there. E.T.'s like, listen, let me just take these balls and have them fly in the air.
Floating balls.
That was the little sprinkle Steven Spielberg does throughout this film, where it's not like all magic.
Yeah.
And it's not none. Just when you were kind of forgetting about it, it was the same when the bike started to fly. I was like, I forgot we could do cool shit because you're an alien. It is so, the timing is perfect. And so even, and then I thought, I don't even think they used CGI to make those balls float. That must have been like,
you don't think?
Wire or something, because it didn't look that fake.
And it wasn't like a long scene either. It was just like, and he was making a like solar system, right? That was the point of it?
Yeah.
Okay. And they also like with the CGI, like the parts, it was very, like you said, it was very sparingly, but it really like the main use of it was when they were doing all the bike stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, that looked like good.
It looked really good.
Yeah.
So then they're like, holy cow, all the kids know what's happening. And I love that, again, what makes this movie like, mwah, is he filmed everything from like a kid view.
Yeah.
And as we know, 80s, 90s, you never trust the parents with anything. So they like hold out on telling the mom. And Drew Barrymore is hilarious because she's like, but like, why can't we tell mom? I'm like, she's the most practical one. And she's the youngest. And they're like, you just can't. Like, and right away, Elliot knew at this age not to trust the government. He's like, they'll do science experiments. And then, Kate, you go to the most epic, like, comparison, which is what everyone did in science, dissecting a frog. And you're like,
wait, did you do that in science?
Yes!
I think I did, but our frogs were not alive and then we murdered them.
They were not alive. I thought,
God.
wow,
I hated that.
So dark.
I was like, is this the fucking science teacher from Gremlins? Because I have questions about it. Ethics are not here. What?
And you can school me on this. Is there a Stranger Things episode where they release all the frogs to be free? Because if not, it's coming.
No, but like basically Elle from Stranger Things is E.T. and like there's just so many parallels. Like the Dungeons and Dragons with the kids playing where he like goes outside at night and like sees Elle and like is hiding her. And then even they do a bike riding scene in season 1. It's a little different than in this movie. In the Stranger Things, they don't fly over a van, but she like flips a van over them. And that's where they first realize she has like crazy psychic powers and stuff.
I remember
it's
that.
Fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I want to watch all of Stranger Things again because it's so awesome.
Wow. But the difference with Stranger Things in this movie is this is really about Elliot, his siblings, and E.T. Not Elliot, his crew.
Right. Elliot has no crew.
Yeah, Elliot has no crew. It's Michael's crew. And these are some kick-ass friends because they're ignored the whole movie.
Oh my God.
They need them. They give them the look and they're like, we got you.
They don't even question it. They're like, hey guys, I know I haven't hung out with you in a couple days, but like, we have an alien, so we gotta like run away from the government. You in? And they're like, totally, let's do it. And I'm like, the fuck?
They did like a like, I don't know, like a base batter symbol and they all knew it was like serious deal.
Like, it's go time.
But the coolest thing is they're slowly getting to know E.T. And what I liked about this movie is even though Elliot, at his age, would love to keep an alien forever, he's like, he wants to go home. And so let's help him go home. And you're like, well, how adorable is that? Versus like a selfish, you know, I want to keep him. And he even said, he's like, you could stay here as long as you want. I was like, oh my God, you treat like him better than like parents treat kids.
Yeah, right. Parents like, get the fuck out of here. Elliot's like, live with me forever. I love you.
But I don't know if I'm jumping, but the frog scene in school is the connection of they're feeling the feelings because he's got drunk.
And that's where he gets drunk and he sexually assaults a classmate who we met 10 minutes earlier, or not even. And was it needed?
So
I don't know.
I don't think it was needed, but one of the coolest parts is when he kicks down a friend to step on top of them because
cool.
The girl is so much taller. And if we know anything from Pen 15, when you're like 11, 12, whatever, every girl is taller than you.
Yeah. It's so fucking true.
So that was like hilarious.
Oh my God, yeah. But I just, like, we said this, but like the mom comes home and she's like, that's so weird. All these beer bottles and garbage everywhere. Anywho, unloading the groceries is more important. I'm like, lady,
that was that was some bullshit because she gets a phone call from school and she goes, my son Elliot drunk? Are you sure you have the right kid? He never gets reprimanded. There are beer cans all over the house.
The evidence is damning.
It's clear.
Yeah.
And she's just like, can be my son. All right, let me go get him. Hey, Drew, I know you're 4. Can you just take care of yourself and that little alien I'm ignoring?
She literally leaves her alone. She's like, you're just gonna hang out here. Good luck. I was like, wow.
I was like,
damn,
80s. Or
Not
how
good.
Mary was raised.
Little Matilda, you can make pancakes yourself, right? Good luck.
But Drew Barrymore, like, honestly, I thought had the coolest part where she, like, basically teaches him to talk.
Yeah, that was cute.
Like, she's like, oh my god, you can talk. And then she's like, I taught him to talk. I'm like, yeah, you should brag about that, Gertie, because that's cool.
That is fucking cool. And then pretty quickly, it's like, all right, guys, now we're gonna fucking E.T. made a phone or some shit, and now it's Halloween, and this is like the big heist. This is the alien Halloween heist.
So awesome.
Wait, let's go through this plan, because I thought I understood it, and then I didn't understand it. So, okay. So,
Okay,
Elliot...
I'm gonna take a sip of water. Okay.
Elliot and Michael are their normal Halloween costumes. Then they dress E.T. up as a ghost, but they were pretending it was their little sister Gertie.
Who's like,
but then
5 times the 5.
And she does not have a head that's like 2 feet wide because like the proportions were off. But then the plan was, Gertie, you're actually dressed as a cowgirl, but you're gonna stay home secretly, but then you're gonna be dressed as a ghost something, and then you're meeting us somewhere, but Gertie's 4, so what is the plan? How did we...
Oh no, you froze.
Did Gertie go trick-or-treating? I'm upset. Bridget, are you frozen? Or is this just you staring at me because I hate everything that's happening right now?
You froze.
Are you back?
I'm back, and
Bridget.
I came back to you laughing hysterically.
Oh, because you were frozen, and I was like, I guess that was just me. Let me go fuck myself.
I'm sorry. But, okay, the part I didn't understand is where I think you were getting to. Why is Drew coming back in a ghost costume, but hiding in the house? I mean, the mom was clearly on cloud 9 in her sexy cat suit, hoping
Definitely
the dad
drugs.
was going to come home, and didn't care at all what the kids were doing.
I literally wrote, is this mom dressed for Halloween as a drunk lady? Because mission accomplished. She literally sees her costumes, and she's like, bah! And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And then she's like, that's I'm taking a photos. It's great. And you're like, oh, okay.
And how many candles did she light?
Oh my god, I fucking wrote, I was like, this is a fire hazard, ma'am.
So many.
You better
inside.
watch those. Don't leave those candles lit all night. It's not good.
So that what was cool is they didn't know that they were actually, this heist was not for mom. The heist was for the government.
This one was?
Did they
know about
the
government?
No, they didn't know about the government, but like the heist helped with the government because the government was like, oh, these are 3 kids and they're all leaving the house, and the government didn't say, well, that looks like E.T. and not the little girl.
That's true. That's true.
And then E.T. is brilliant and makes some Albert Einstein type phone and calls his freaking crew.
He does. And this is the first time we get the magical bike flying. It's just him and Elliot. And again, not the appropriate reaction. Elliot's just like, don't go too high. I was like, what? I'd be screaming bloody murder if I start flying. Jesus.
I understand that the iconic, like, you know, back in the day when we had VHS tapes, is the picture of the moon and Elliot on the bike with E.T. and the red sweater. But for whatever reason, I completely forgot. So when that bike started flying, I was like, that's right! This is awesome! And it was fun. It was fun and surprising. It reminded me of, like, when Sister Act all of a sudden was like,
yes!
And you're like,
yes!
Yeah! Wow.
Yo, I could use a scene of that bike flying and then the Sister Act chorus singing below them in the woods, because, wow, that'd be fucking awesome.
But they're not good at landing. We learned that. But somehow E.T.'s totally fine. And he's like, all right, let me start doing my phone. And I don't know how they set this up, and it looks like that phone system had every weird 80s things I could ever think of. It looked like an art exhibit.
Yes.
And somehow we're tying a rope to a tree, and they're both like 3 feet tall, but it happens, Kate, and it works, and it's magic.
It's E.T. magic. But then this is where, again, I get a little confused because we don't really see what goes on. It's just like, anyway, cutting back to the family, and the family's like, oh my god, Elliot's missing. Here's a police officer. And I was like, wait, why is he missing? Where are we? Am I drunk? Who's drunk? What's happening? And then literally, it's like, oh, there. Elliot appears behind the fridge. And you're like, uh-huh. And then E.T.'s not there. And then Elliot's like, oh my God, Mike, you gotta go get E.T. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Did we get drunk again? And we all blacked out like the Hangover? I don't understand.
All I wanted to add to your thing is that he slept in the forest.
But then how did he lose E.T.? Like, I don't understand how he got drunk and lost.
I think E.T. was like wandering in the night, but he also was like hurting, right? Because this is the start of him kind of dying.
Yes.
And when Elliot tries to find him, he can't find him, but he's like, okay, I gotta go home and like regroup, basically. Yeah. And that's when he sends his brother and is like, I cannot find E.T. And I gotta say, this is an awesome Big Brother move.
It was.
Because he didn't even take a beat. He was like, aye, aye, Captain.
I did kind of like that about these siblings, because at first you're like, nah, they don't get along that well. And then like throughout the movie, you're like, nah, they're like good siblings.
They're
like
good
they love
siblings.
each other. Yeah.
And he delivered. He was like, I found some raccoon was about to eat E.T.
Fucking hated it. Hated it. We don't
Holy
like it.
Cow. And then he also knew he was being followed. And he didn't know what was happening, but he knew it was being followed. And he was like, some shit's going weird. And wowie, they take E.T. back, and it's not good because he's white as a ghost. He's white as your Barney, Kate.
He's white as Barney. Barney from 1994, whatever fuck year that was. Who knows?
That was the discount. Mom and Dad didn't want to pay for the purple Barney.
Yes, that's true. Well, and then this mom, she finally sees E.T. and again, her reaction is kind of like, look at that. I think I saw that the other day, but I don't know. I ignored it.
Finally, she decides to be a parent, and she's like, oh boy, what's happening? But she doesn't have a lot of time.
No.
Because, Kate, I thought this was a Bob scene. Because it kind of gave me like, are we having a nightmare? Is this reality? But it was reality.
It was.
It was a bunch of astronauts in spacesuits just
like,
breaking and entering into all parts of the house where they have full authority just to come through the front door.
Yeah, like, aren't they busy in space? I'm a little confused why this is in their job description.
The mom says the funniest line, too. She's like, you can't just break into my house. And I was like, yeah, what she said. What's happening? Yeah. But somehow, then they take over. And, like, it looks like they're fumigating the whole house. And there's this, like, weird tunnel. And they're everywhere. And they take E.T. Kate. No, they're gonna cut him up. What are they gonna do?
They take E.T. and you're like, oh, that's fucked up. Like, stealing the alien. But then they also, like, have Elliot, which I was like, oh.
I hate it.
Shit.
I hate it.
I hate it. And then they're all laying next to each other and you're like, everyone is dying. And even your dog's dead. And, oh, jeez.
Can you tell me who the medical staff is that also is in the government UFO alien section?
Bridge, I'm just gonna go into the X-Files if you really want me to, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't think you actually want me to do that. But this is where we get this guy who may or may not be dead. I don't fucking know, because again, I made the astronaut NASA connection when they were talking about Mexico and Sally. And who the fuck is this guy?
I'm Googling it now.
And he also had the same type of like ears as Elliot, where they kind of like stuck out. So, and they like lingered on it. And I was like, is this like a clue? Is this Blue's Clues? Because I'm not doing well at this. I don't know the answer. Somebody help me. I'm so confused. I don't fucking know. But he was like, oh, Elliot, we were trying to find E.T. and help him. And I was like, were you? And then apparently he was. And I was like, okay. And then E.T. fucking dies. It's
it's so slow too, because you're like, okay, they're truly connected with the like boop boop monitors, and you're like, that's cool, and then you just watch E.T. flatline.
Oh my god! And then when they're doing like they're trying to resuscitate, and they're doing like the shock thing. Oh my fucking god! I hated all of it. And Drew Barrymore's watching, and she's only goddamn 6, and she thought this was real, and I'm so sad for her and the trauma. Oh my god!
Yeah. Okay, I am confirming right now that dude was not the dad.
Okay.
But you wanted me to say it was.
I mean, I just, like, felt like the movie wanted me to think that, but then they didn't, like, convince me. And then I was like, is this guy gonna date the mom again? Like, is that where we're going? And then that didn't happen either. And I was like,
that didn't happen either.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought, oh my god, I forgot with this movie that E.T. dies. And that also was part of the, like, am I remembering this movie right? When was the last time I saw this movie? And I'm like, does E.T. survive? And I'm like, well, he did the bike flying scene, and I remember all the famous lines lines, but is this it? And then I love how you said in the beginning, through the magic of Pokemon tears.
That's literally what it was.
Like, how did he come back to life?
I don't
Or was it
fucking
his
know.
crew that came by and that's why his heart started glowing? Which, by the way, back in the day, Kate, I used to have this thing, and if anybody's my age, it was called glowworm. Do you remember this?
No. What did it do? Did it glow? Was it a worm that glowed?
This stuffed animal with a battery, and it like all it did was glow.
What's the point of that?
It was like a little stuffed animal. I don't know, but I just remember like that was the vibe. That chest had this like glowworm, and I thought, oh, because his like family or friends are nearby, are they like bringing him back to life? And now that he's close to them again,
I feel like that's what actually happened, but they did kind of set it up like Elliot's Pokemon tears and the power of love like brought him back.
Okay, and then he's brilliant because he's looking left and right, and he's like, "Oh my god, shut the fuck up!" He's like, "Shut up!" And I was laughing. I was like, "This is amazing."
Wait, that was I wrote that too. I was like, "This is great. We love a good fake cry. We love it. We're into it."
And some of the harsh criticism in the past movies you've had with some of these child actors, that fake cry is how they really cry, but he acted with a fake cry.
He was acting as a fake crier as an actor. It was really, really good, and I'm not being sarcastic.
But, okay, so when he zips him up, and then he's, like, thinking to himself, okay, what do we do? Once again, and this is probably what, like, is not working in 2022. He goes to his older brother, and he's like, here's the deal. I need you to drive this car. And his older brother, without a pause, is like, no fucking problem.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm in the front seat. I'm in the front seat.
Never driven a car before. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Let's do it. And then they somehow get past all the government people, and one of the guys is like, hey, sir, like, who are you? And Elliot's like, put your fucking helmet on! And then they drive away, and I thought, well, this is, again, the government's bamboozled through Reeses Pieces and children driving their cars.
Yeah, it's easy to fool them. And also, this is where the bike heist comes in. Oh, by the way, when Elliot started making his speech to Dead E.T., from this point on, like, consistently to the end of the movie, I was crying.
Definitely.
The entire time.
Definitely.
Even, like, that part where I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. I was still like, really great.
No, it's the part you cry. It is so emotional, and this is when I was like, this is a love story.
And at one point I wrote, E.T. is wearing a Hugh Hefner robe? What the fuck? What was that happening?
When was that?
Oh, maybe it was before they get in the bike, because then the next thing is, ugh, I love this bike riding music.
All right. Look, just erase the notes. We already decided we didn't have our notes together.
For some reason, that part in that music, though, it was like the... It kind of sounded like the Jaws music when they're out in the sea and it's like exciting.
Fucking John Williams.
That like made me emotional because I was like, oh my fucking god, we're gonna save E.T. everybody. And I was sitting there by myself at like 11 in the morning and I was like, why was this happening to me and my feelings?
This is the same part that then Michael looks at his friends and his friends are like, why are you driving a car? And Michael just gives them the eye. He gives them the best friend middle school eye. And they're all like, no fucking problem, we're on it. And they just bike away. And they're like, awesome. We got this, we're on it, we'll meet you at the playground. They have a meetup spot.
Yep.
Elliot basically almost kills two guys.
Pretty much.
By detaching the tunnel.
Yeah.
And E.T. is just chilling.
He's chilling, he's wearing a Hugh Hefner robe, and then I guess he drapes it around himself like Audrey Hepburn. But this is where we are a little bike gang, and they try to do some split ups to like fake people out, but then they all get to a point where they're like, uh-oh, like we're coming up on a dead end, it's like a police blockade, like we're fucked, you know, whatever. And Elliot's just like, we're not stopping. He just like goes balls to the wall. And then this is where fucking E.T.'s like, I got you, boo. And then they go, beep.
And not only did Elliot fly, but E.T.'s like, and I got your cool crew. And they all fucking fly. And this is the Stranger Things episode we want to see.
Yes. There is a fun fact about this particular scene, and I will give a shout out to Herb because he loves his shout out.
Well, hey, Herb.
Herb, when I told him I couldn't hang out yet because I had to watch E.T. because I have priorities. And he goes, well, did you know that there's like, obviously the original version of E.T., but then they did they remastered it maybe or something like later. And in the scene where they're riding towards that police barricade, those police are holding like legit guns, like pretty intense guns, at least in the version I watched.
Yeah.
But they did a remastered version where they edited out all the guns and they changed them to walkie-talkies.
Wow.
And so, like, the threat was, like, they're gonna get us with walkie-talkie. or something.
No, the guns are way more intense.
It's way better because you're like, this is serious. Like, shit, stakes are high.
Interesting. Also, that must be like the TV version. They're probably like, we can't have...
No,
like,
I think it
the
is,
government shooting children. And it's like, you can't.
I mean, they do.
They do. I don't know if they do, but here we are.
I hope not. Okay.
We could get dark. But anyways, I got some Three Ninjas biking through development vibes.
Wow.
Jumping jumps, and they create diversions.
Hashtag Rocky loves Emily. Okay.
Oh, Rocky loves Emily. And E.T.'s like, listen, Elliot, just keep going. I got you covered. We're going to get to the forest. And once again, the flight. Kate, now I'm realizing maybe E.T. didn't walk from his ship to the house. He probably flew. I like
my theory that he rolled down the hill unceremoniously.
Anyway. So then, the best movies have action right in the beginning.
Yep.
And right from the start where that spaceship lands and E.T. gets lost, we end in like the same action where the spaceship comes down. We didn't have to wait long. We didn't have to have some like weird, the government's on our back and we're stressing and they're running. No, we already did that. We got to really just see the connection where Elliot's like, stay. And then Alien's like, come. And you're like,
Wait, and then like Drew Barrymore goes and she was like, I just wanted to say goodbye before you left. I was like, God. There's literally so many crying emojis in my notes here. It's so sad. Oh my fucking God. And then E.T. turns to Michael and he goes, thank you. It's so fucking sweet. Oh my God. We love a thank you.
He just wiggles up to his spaceship and says goodbye. And it honestly, the graphics for it like floating away, going to our Superman baby COVID flying. 10 times better. And I thought, wow. And then we just go back to the stars. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking loved this movie.
And they leave a little rainbow. And I go, wow, rainbow exit. Wow.
I didn't hate that.
I didn't either, but like, wow.
I bet you in a couple years that could be kind of cheesy, but I didn't hate it. I was like, I'm here for it. You won me over.
I just was like, yay, it's happy. Hooray.
Wow, Steven. Woo! Spielberg, way to go.
Bridge.
Henry Thomas, way to deliver as a kid.
Bridge.
Yes.
Would you watch or don't watch E.T.?
Watch.
Oh my God.
Not only would I watch, but I think that this is one of the movies that I have to sit Kate down when she's a certain age and say, listen, this is important. And if you meet an alien and it's a nice botanist, you can tell me and I won't tell the government. And she'll be like, cool, Mom. I'll be like, see?
Did you ever get a chance to look through the scrapbook from your baby shower?
Oh my God, all the time.
Because I think someone did in there recommend E.T. for Kate to watch.
Oh my God.
I feel like someone did. I don't remember who, but I vaguely remember that.
I need to see who. And Kate, would you watch it?
Yeah, I would fucking watch it.
Yeah.
And it might be on my list of movies to watch if I need to like get the tears out because damn.
Wow.
The emotions were happening.
Wow. I don't even know how we pick another movie just as great. Like, where do we go from here?
Don't fucking worry because I have a pick. And is it a listener pick? Maybe. Is that listener me? Yes.
Okay.
So this is literally so far from E.T. you can't even deal. But I love this movie so much.
Let's do it.
And yeah, I'm just sick of waiting. So we're gonna do it.
Wow. Waiting.
We are going to a different year. We're going back to 2001.
Whoa.
Which I don't remember what other movie we did that was that, but I'm sure there were some. This is considered a comedy music. It's not music. Well, maybe it's musical. I don't know. Comedy music is what we got.
Music, okay.
This movie to me is very, I think, kind of clever in a lot of sense, but it's actually kind of remaking an old comic, and then it was like a cartoon, I think, for a while.
Wow.
But then they're like, we're gonna make it into a movie, and they updated it for the early 2000s, and it's so fucking funny, and
wow, I gotta really take off my E.T. brain, because this seems like a totally different
This is
world.
not a Steven Spielberg-esque movie.
Okay, shift out your brain. E.T.'s gone. E.T.'s gone. And Kate, go. Comedy, music, something. It's funny. What's happening?
Okay, so I'm gonna read you the synopsis, and I feel like you're not gonna fucking know what this is, because I think you've already mentioned you've never seen this movie before, because we've definitely talked about it before. A girl group finds themselves in the middle of a conspiracy to deliver subliminal messages through popular music. LOL.
I have no idea.
I know. It's
Wait,
okay.
Is this Spice Girls?
No.
Oh.
No.
I don't know. What is it?
This is the 2001 movie, Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh, I have not seen this movie.
Oh, my Bridge. Like, I'm actually excited that you've never seen it because I want to genuinely know if my nostalgia lens is super biased. But I really feel like this plot, it's silly, but like, it's also kind of very clever. And
Who
I'm very
is
excited.
even in this movie?
So we got Rachel Lee Cook.
Wow.
So she is Josie. Tara Reid is the drummer.
Wow.
Her name's Melody. And then Rosario Dawson is the bass player. Her name's Valerie.
Posey, Alan Cumming.
Oh, Parker Posey's in it. Missy Pyle, Alan Cumming. We got them all. Oh, and then Carson Daly, Aries Spears, Seth Green's makes an appearance.
Eugene Levy.
We have a lot of awesome people in this. Oh my God, Bridge. Like,
wow.
I'm so excited for you to watch this for the first time. I'm so excited.
I don't even know. Wow. Okay, so my expectation going in is you think the plot's smart.
I think it's smarter than people give it credit for. And I mean, it's a comedy, so obviously, like, it's supposed to be funny and, like, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But, like, it's not, like, scary movie comedy. Like, it's, like, a little bit better, I think.
Okay.
And it's very much a product of the times.
Rotten Tomato gives it 52%.
Well, you know what? We're halfway there. We're living on a prayer. And I didn't vote in that. And my vote would make it go a lot higher. So don't worry.
Well, I'm ready. And I'm sure someone wants this movie. So
yeah, it's me. Like, I want this movie.
Got it.
That's me.
Wow, folks. So E.T. to Josie and the Pussycats. That's what you get here.
Come along for our bike ride in the stars. Whee! Well, Bridge, if you were housing an alien in your room that you just found with the help of Reese's Pieces, and you needed someone to help you with your heist to get the alien home, I would fucking help you.
Oh my God.
And I would make sure that none of those government bitches are on our tails, and I would use all my knowledge from the X-Files to make that happen. I love you.
The only thing I thought the same thing, and the only thing I could say is if this happened to us, I would make sure Jimmy didn't find out, because he would definitely ruin it. And he wouldn't listen to us.
That's true. Yeah, he would blame us for dropping the pizza, even though that happened like 20 minutes ago or something.
He'd be like, you ate my Reese's Pieces, and I have no pizza.
Exactly.
Oh
boy.
My
God.
And
listeners, if you also love supportive sibling relationships and Reese's Pieces and alien friends in the cornfield,
botany,
you should write us a review.
Hey.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. We actually got a couple reviews recently on our Apple Podcast, which is so appreciated. You guys didn't write any words, but you know what? That's okay. We still love you.
Thanks, guys.
I know,
Gals.
it's very, very much appreciated. But don't be afraid to write words. Don't be shy. And also, please go on to Spotify. Give us a rate on there. That's appreciated. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you scroll down on the main page, there's a form you can fill out to request a movie. Did I go and fill out my own website's form to request my movie? No, but you should, because I can't read your mind, like E.T. or whatever was happening there. Yeah, and Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee. And honestly, Katie does all the editing. Everyone knows this. That's the real listener and does all the work. But this is really hard as a new mom, trying to like watch movies, because when you have a newborn, you're basically watching one movie over the course of like 12 hours because you have to start and stop it. And that requires coffee. And that would be nice. So you should just say, hey, you know what? I don't feel like writing a review, but here's some dough, and buy a pizza and Reese's Pieces.
Amen.
Amen.
So check all that out, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Josie and the Pussycats.
I am thrilled.
Okay. Very good, Betsy.
I was actually trying to stall.
You're going to be a fan by the end.
I was trying to stall because I was thinking of like what song is their famous song, and I didn't even think of it.
They have a lot of...
Okay.
I mean, by famous, I mean like I know them, but like, yeah.
Okay.
We'll learn.
Okay.
We'll have songs. All right. Well, I love you.
I love you.
Bye-bye. I love you.
Bye-bye. E.T. phone home.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things Sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.